we are now recording, and this is going to be the Health and Ordinance Committee meeting starting at 6:03 p.m. on June 14th. And I would like to, can I just open up real quick?
You do, about the application?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say, when the council met last time and Ms. Simmons Folks was here, the mayor made the suggestion about the application for using the town square to possibly let vendors use it 4 to 6 times per year and pay a certain permit fee. He reminded everyone that if food is sold, that meals tax would have to be paid. Councilman Nash said he was concerned about food being sold because they've been through so much with the food trucks already, and they're not allowed in the historic business district or on town-owned property. So just opening up with that, that was a suggestion about the town square rentals. The current rental fee, I have a copy of the application enclosed in y'all's packet, but the current rental fee as it stands is for-profit organizations and or businesses shall be required to pay $100 per day or $250 per weekend, Friday through Sunday. So if y'all want to consider something like that, letting the but I think that there is going to be some sort of issue with the food, correct? So the food trucks and nothing else is allowed in the historic business district.
And this is as it stands now.
That is as it is now. And the fee is on page 4 of the agreement that's enclosed in your packet. Did you get your packet?
So, with the food, I mean, because so many people, like if they doing something like a catering company or whatever, you know, somebody who cater food, but not so much cater food, but if that's what they do for their business. Just like the last time she was having something, and it was a group where they was just doing place where the people was taking the place to go. So
they would, so the person that made the plate would have to pay meals tax.
okay.
But before, we didn't allow food on town-owned property to be sold on town-owned property or in the historic business district, and the town square is in that district. So I don't know. I did not attend the event, so I didn't know. Do you agree, Philip?
If you read our ordinance for the obligation for meals, there's 2 things that have to occur in order for us to collect meals tax. It has to be prepared in Blackstone, and it has to be served in Blackstone. Otherwise, it doesn't have to pay meals tax. Okay? That is part of our meals tax ordinance. It has to be made and sold in Blackstone. So if people are bringing stuff in and selling it, I would say that's a no-no. I would say that's a no-no. I don't think that's a particularly good idea because they are exempt from meals tax if they do not prepare it and serve it in the town of Blackstone. If you remember, Barbara, you may have been on council, there were some concerns about, it was Candy doing a lot of catering out there at Fort Pickett, remember? And the question was, if I'm serving it at Fort Pickett, am I obliged to pay meals tax? And the answer was no. It's got to be made in Blackstone and served in Blackstone. So if somebody comes in with a truck or a pickup truck and tries to serve plate dinners, I would say don't do that. That's not probably a good idea. I would recommend not providing that opportunity for folks because they're not paying meals tax.
Gotcha.
Okay? They're not going to pay meals tax. So I would...
For like her pop-up vendors, I think that's what she was calling it, pop-up vendors, so citizens would know what was going on in town. If the people had samples and didn't sell it,
and gave it away, yeah.
just gave it away as samples for people to know, hey, this is what we make as a caterer, or, you know, and they gave out samples, then I think that would be.
I think it needs to stay true in the historical district because it's not going to be fair for one, it's not going to be fair for all.
Right.
So it either has to be prepared and served in Blackstone, or if you want to give free samples, that's fine. But anywhere in the historical district, I think we need to stay true with what the ordinance is.
You get the restaurants that pay meals tax, and if somebody's smart enough to figure out, well, I didn't make it in Blackstone, so I ain't paying meals tax. No problem.
How about like cookies or something like that, something small?
Well, I would say
There
that
was one person, I think they
if they're
was
not
selling-
made in Blackstone, then.
That's regardless what it is.
Okay,
Any type of perishable food or drink.
Any type of food, it would have to be required to pay meals tax and
But,
it's on town and property.
but, a nonprofit group can do it, and without paying meals tax 4 times a year. So my recommendation to you would be, all right, I'm gonna have a pop-up vendor thing, and the council's figured out a way to make it work, and all good. And I wanna have food there. I would contract with Spring Hill Church, I would contract with the fire department, I would contract with Association of Real, something, and let them do the food. Because they are exempted from paying business license, they're exempted from paying meals tax.
And 4 times?
4 times a year, state code exempts them from paying local meals tax. So I think if you do want food, it's possible to do, but just do it in association with a nonprofit group and let them do that. And that's gonna keep the vendors, or the local restaurants from going nutty.
gotcha.
So a church, a fire department, the rescue squad, DBI.
Sure. How about the sale of goods? Now, was that an issue?
Well, I think the sale of goods, the issue that came up with the other night, and as I read this, it says for-profit organizations and/or businesses shall be required to pay $100 or $250 per weekend. Town council shall approve all. And I think that's where we get it. Self-included, that's what I was thinking about.
Okay,
So I think, as it stands right now, you can do for-profit, right?
And that's where the fee comes.
$100 a day, or $250 if they wanna do the weekend, and it's gotta come to council.
Okay.
We were done.
Because the council has to approve it because they are selling goods on town and property.
So I would say that any kind of food vending needs to be in association with a nonprofit.
If it's not a nonprofit, then no.
Then you shouldn't be
Can't do
selling
Gotcha.
food in
So if Ms. Simmons Folks wants to do this again, she'd have to give advance notice so the council could approve it.
in $100 per day fee.
And she did, I think the last time she got in contact with DBI.
She didn't pay, and that's I
You
think
said
where.
she did?
Did not. She
Okay,
did
because
not.
she told me she paid $100 fee, she was told she had to pay $100 fee, she paid the fee.
She may have paid it to the town and Justin not know about that.
Oh, maybe.
No, she said, because she worked, what's your name?
Justin.
Yeah, she said she worked with you, she paid $100, and then somebody called her like, I think you called her, Philip, like a few days before the event, like that Wednesday or so, and was saying
The
you
paper
can't
came
do
out on
it.
Wednesday.
I think we
and
both were in touch with her.
Yeah, and she was like, huh, I can't
Someone
do
came
it.
to me and said,
Yeah,
Wait
she
a
was
minute.
approved for everything. She
what's
paid
this
the
going
fee
on in
and-
the board package? So
everything.
we're all clear. For-profit is permissible, not food vending. Right? Are we agreeable on that?
Agreeable.
And
Yeah,
it's a $100 fee, but it's got to go to council before it's approved.
yeah,
Good?
Good.
okay.
But I think the mayor, I think the way we were understanding it the other night, you couldn't have any for sale on there, but it says in here you can. And we didn't have the policy when we were going over it, I think so. But if it is for profit, it has to be approved by council.
Got to be approved by council, and that's what we didn't do.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's
yeah.
probably the one thing that we didn't do.
Okay, all right.
And I don't think she did anything wrong. She was just going by what she was told that she could do.
Yeah.
She was told that she could do everything that she
So
did.
did she pay with check, or she have a record of it? Because it doesn't seem like anybody knows anything about it.
Yeah, my recollection is that the fee was waived with the understanding that goods and food weren't going to be sold. And that
All right,
was
so
my-
she said she paid, so how was it waived?
Yeah, I would have, yeah, cause she.
Do y'all not
pretty
keep any
much told-
records of this stuff?
Cause she said she paid that $100. Because actually she was saying that she was gonna get the young lady, Latoya, who work at Spencer's, to bring you the check, but then something happened where she was able to get it to you or whatever. Now, this is what was told to me, so I'm not sure, I'm just
We'll
going
find
by
We'll
what
find
was
out.
said, but she did pay the $100, she said.
We will find out.
Find out before that becomes an issue, please.
Yeah.
And use the square, but all the parameters and
Yeah,
the restaurants are totally stressing out about it.
yeah.
So then, but we would still not allow food, correct?
Not allowed food
Unless
unless
it's
it's
non-profit.
Nonprofit.
church,
Uh-huh.
somebody,
Yeah.
several places doing it.
Makes sense.
And that's when you get the nonprofit, they need to provide you with a documented This is the
they
nonprofit,
are.
501c3 documentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess everybody just need to know what the policy is to make sure, you know.
And just make sure staff follows the policy. We didn't do a very good job last time.
Yeah.
So we need
So we don't need to make a motion, we just need to stay true with what's been
Uh-huh.
set.
the food sales will be through a nonprofit.
All right, next.
Houses turned sideways.
How'd I know this was coming?
I took Miss Thompson out before the meeting and showed her what was recently placed.
It ain't great looking,
There's nothing we
man.
can do now, but I showed her where it was.
We're down, the subject property that we're talking about is down here at the end of Third Street. We're Second Street. Down at the very end of Third Street. It backs up right here.
Did somebody complain about it?
Mm-hmm, the
You
neighbor.
remember
Next
the
door
neighbor
neighbor.
was in here?
Yeah.
Oh.
That may have been before Barbara got
The
here.
neighbor over here, where I think it's facing
Not
that
the
one.
one you
No,
know,
not
Yeah.
the one beside her.
She doesn't mind.
Well, here's the deal. And we included the R2 district for you to look at.
That's
And it ain't nowhere in any ordinance that you gotta have your front door facing the front. Doesn't ever say that, okay? It says you gotta meet setbacks. New lots, if it was divided off in Blackstone today, in that zoning district, if they were gonna do a subdivision, it'd have to be 80 feet. 80 foot of lot. But these lots were platted legally in 1894, I think.
What, has that house been moved yet?
They split it back.
Did they?
Yeah, it's like that. So, they've got 75 feet, they've got 3 lots. Okay? As long as you meet your setback, we allow people to do that. You get 50 feet, ooh, you're getting on tight. And you're gonna end up at the Board of Zoning Appeals because there's really not much you can do on 50 feet. A typical double wide or a typical modular home, if you're looking at it and it's set up long ways, it's 56 feet wide, typical, okay? 56 feet plus the setbacks wouldn't fit on 75 feet, thus sticking it sideways. Not the greatest look in the world, but the ordinance doesn't prevent it. There's nothing that says you can't do it. Now, what Lonnie was talking about, they set the thing, put the straps down, the piers and everything, and it was about 15 feet too close to the road. I had to stop them and say, nope. Y'all gotta
Had to
fix
move
it.
it back,
You
yeah.
gotta move it back. And they weren't happy about it, but I said, guys, this is the rule. You gotta line it up. The rule is, if you've got houses on either side of you, which they do, the front setback is 35 feet or in line with adjacent structures within 50 feet. And they have it on both sides, okay? So the closer of the two was that brown house with a little porch on the front. And he's actually set back to the structure, but not even the porch. To the main structure. He had to pick that thing up and slide it back and see it. I think the question was, should people be allowed to put a house in with the front door facing the other side? It's the second instance. The first one was Sandra Jones's daughter, and I don't know her name, but on Center Street. If you remember, that was a 75-foot lot. Same zoning district. And the council did approve putting in a double wide, not a modular home. And the only way she could get it in there, meet setback, was stick it in a sideways. So if you go down there and look, there's a double wide in there in the long way. It works good for them because my
Yeah,
mother's
'cause
right
they're
next door.
relatives, yeah.
Well, I mean, but it's like you said, most of the lots in Blackstone are 25 feet.
I would say, if you look right here, all of this is all 25-foot lots. See these little tiny ones? Doot, 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 down here? These are all really narrow little small lots.
And if someone has left lots or, it's an empty lot and there's nothing on it and, you have the opportunity to put something there, a lot of times it's only gonna fit long ways.
I'd love to find models that have the door in front, but that ain't always the case. And people go there and pick them out at Clay.
So what does it do with property value?
Huh?
What would it do with property value?
I don't know. I think it's, the one good thing is, it's not a manufactured home. If it were a manufactured home, the value would decrease every year.
Yeah.
Typically, they depreciate. I own one, and every time the county does the assessment, it's worth less.
So whenever somebody says they're gonna build a house, don't they have to come up here first?
They do.
It has to go through you first.
I've got to do a zoning permit. So
So-
if somebody comes to me and says, hey, I want to put a house in on Third Street. Okay. What do you want to put in? I want to put in a double wide. And that's what they wanted to do at first, was a double wide. I said, no good on the double wide. Got to be.
So can from now on, we find out through, they have to relay to you exactly where the house is gonna be facing before?
Oh, we put that in the zoning permit. You must be 35 feet. You must be setback, but we don't have anywhere where we press them to find out where the front door is.
So that's what we're here today for.
Do you want to require people, specifically with modular homes, to turn them sideways? The problem with that is, it would probably pass at Board of Zoning Appeals. It probably would. However, it'd be that much closer to that woman next door's property line. Because they probably, if you took 56 and we did the math, it would take 81 feet to fit a 56-foot wide home in there and still get the 12.5-foot setbacks on the side. And
I think all in
I dare
fairness
say
to your
BZA
neighbors,
would've shut that
I think all in fairness to your neighbors, I think we should make it facing the street.
Yeah.
basis.
I mean, I'm sorry this one happened the way it did, but
Yeah.
nothing
On
you can do about
modular
that.
homes, on all homes.
I would say all. 'cause
I would say
all.
Oh,
that's the recommendation.
I mean, 'cause think about it, you wouldn't want to come out your house with the situation she got, like she got a, you know, I mean, but not only that, I think too, with something like that, as soon as we know that someone getting ready to do that, we need to let the neighbors know, so it won't be a surprise to them. No?
Well, no, what we're voting on, what we're talking about now is no more sideways. It's
There'll be
all
no more
facing the street.
Okay.
There'll be no more
good.
sideways.
Gotcha, okay, yeah, okay.
Well, we need to drop an ordinance, and we have to adopt an ordinance, get public hearing, all that kind of stuff. So let me see if there's another community around that does it. And I just copied
That'll work.
that ordinance. and
Okay.
Either bring it back to you or go to public hearing or something.
So all homes to include modular and double wide, because in some areas you can have a double wide.
Facing
So
the
all
Some areas you
homes.
can have double wide.
well, it look nicer like that anyway.
It does look nice.
So how would you, all homes to include modular and double wide would.
To be facing the street.
Front door should be, or how do you word it? Door should be facing the street, or? front
Well, when
of
you,
house
when you
should-
find another town with similar ordinance, you can go off after
Okay, so
vocabulary.
Front of house should face street.
Not to mention it'll eliminate a nightmare for law enforcement or fire if they're responding to a call.
I'm just telling you, what's gonna happen is it's gonna have several people come and make application to Board of Zoning Appeals. I can't fit the damn thing in without the setbacks, and so go to Board of Zoning Appeals.
And then
It
that
is what
would
it is.
come back to y'all. That would just,
That
they
goes straight
make
to
the final
BZA.
vote.
Well, let them do it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so just say someone has a modular and the street that it's going to face, maybe like unappealing, but they also have the front of, like, somewhere, they'd rather have the house face. Could the back of the house face the street?
No, you need to keep it,
Keep it
because what you're gonna do is you're gonna cause,
Open up a can.
you're gonna open up a can of worms with
Yeah.
that, so
Yeah,
just keep
one.
it all simple and the
So your
same.
recommendation is that all homes.
We've
Okay,
gotta
so-
approve the plans then, make sure the front door is oriented towards,
The street.
not
So
the
you
side
have,
door, the back
your office
door.
has to approve all this before they can even start doing their mess over.
You gotta submit me a set of plans, and I gotta look at them, and
Yeah.
stick built houses for the most part,
I don't think you're gonna be seeing too many of them anytime soon.
it's gonna be the modular, and,
Not the way wood's going up, good grief.
All right, so is there a motion to recommend to council?
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay, so
Opposed?
this will just be the recommendation to council. We still have to do a public hearing, come up with an ordinance, but, so there'll be nothing to discuss except just making y'all's recommendation.
Correct them and do.
So you good with that?
Three things very quickly, I promise Jennifer I'll get out of here real quick. We are working on, that house on Fifth Street, you know, that blighted house. Not much action over there, I don't know if he's gonna make it in 60 days. The next house that we're gonna start working on,
What the hell is that?
What?
Sound like somebody fell on the roof.
I just heard the back.
It might have
back
been
here.
Barbara going up this door.
yeah, slamming the door shut behind, the front door sticks.
I'm so nervous.
We're gonna be working on a demolition on the end of Third Street, there's an old single wide, I guess. We'll get that rascal out, we've already cut a path to get to it, for Matty Anderson, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She's responsible to pay for it, but she asked if the town would pull it out of there, and it's condemned. I have it formally condemned, so we're good to go. The next question I've got, and I need a little guidance from you, is we have a house, it's a big house, it's probably 25 to 3,000 square feet on Oak Street. You ever see me Taylor Longest lives? In that block. It's a brown, like a pumpkin colored house. And it sits there and the whole back of it is gutted, the windows are boarded up, it is just a menace, okay? We've sent the woman, or the people that own it, a letter, a certified letter. She didn't get that, but she did get just a regular mail letter because she didn't respond to the certified. And
Yeah,
she,
if you don't take the certified, then I resend it as regular mail so that I know you actually
they'll
get
take
it.
it. 'Cause a lot of times they won't accept their certified.
But you know
So-
what it is.
She's called me, I've got her phone number, talked to her, and I said, your options are fairly limited. It's not condemned. However, in order to make it not blighted, you're gonna spend some money. I mean, it's gonna be expensive to get it done. You're gonna have to get the chimney fixed, you're gonna have to put windows in the back. They've gutted the whole inside, there's no door on the back end. She came to me and said, I don't wanna, I told her, if you give the property to the town, I'll present that to council. You just wanna surrender the title and say, we can get it down and sell the property. She said, no, I don't wanna do that. I said, all right, what do you wanna do? She said, will the town tear it down and bill me and let me make payments to
No.
the town?
No,
No.
absolutely
All
not.
that is,
That's the business right there.
that's a contractor. You're gonna take on the responsibility of about $10,000 because the whole outside is.
No, if she don't wanna do it, then let's send her a notice, and if so, we'll take it to court.
That's the option,
Well,
but it's not condemned. You're just gonna end up with her boarding up the window.
But you're talking about the blight, using the blight policy, right?
Using black policy is all we've got because Dean did not condemn it.
Just use that. But no, absolutely not.
All right?
That's her responsibility, not ours.
It is her responsibility to board the windows. So it's gonna look like it.
Yep.
All right?
That's it.
You all have anything else?
No.
Everybody good?
But you?
Good. It is 6:20, I have glasses on and I still can't read, 6:25. All right, so you good at adjourning at 6:25?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
All right, thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you much.